Hi sir, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Can you please tell me your full name?
My name is Shashwat Sigdel and you can call me Shashwat.
Where are you from, Shashwat?
I'm from the capital city of our country, it's Kathmandu. It's located on the central province of our country.
Do you work or are you a student?
I'm currently a student. I've just completed my plus 2 and I want to pursue for bachelor studies.
Let's talk about transportation now. Do you prefer public transportation or private transportation?
I usually prefer to travel by my own vehicle, which is a private vehicle. But due to the increasing traffic congestion, I usually prefer to avoid it. Since there is a shortage of the parking and the major problem for carrying private vehicle is the parking issues, I usually travel by public transportation.
What's the most popular means of transportation in your home country?
In my home country, since we don't have a lot of option like in those other countries, roadways is the most common means of transportation. It is cheaper, but as well as it's more time consuming, but we don't have an option since connectivity to all the districts or inside the alleyways of Kathmandu Valley, the most easy means of transportation is the roadways.
Is it easy to catch a bus in your country?
It is very easy to get a bus in my country, but getting a seat or a space inside the bus is a tremendous job. It is usually very crowded, it's very narrow, and there are a lot of people, but very less number of public vehicles.
And what do you think will become the most popular means of transportation in the coming future, especially in your country?
Especially in my country with increasing development, I guess airways will be the most common and most used means of transportation. Since roadway is very time consuming and with the difficult terrain that we have, the development in the airways sector is more prone and the government should focus on developing of the airways. Since they are working on the development of the airways, I guess in upcoming 10 to 20 years, airways will be the most common transportation in my country.
Okay. Do you like indoor activities?
I usually prefer indoor activities over outdoor activities. As I am an introvert person and I'm usually among myself, I usually prefer staying home and listening to songs or doing indoor activities, or I even love gossiping with my friends, staying indoors.
What are the most popular indoor activities that people in your country love to do?
People in my country usually love to spend time with their family while they're indoor. They usually gossip, they usually share their problems and talk about their future. They usually want to share their happiness and sadness. So they give the most interesting parties. With the increased use of social media, it's very easy for people in our country to stay connected with each other. They usually stay indoors and chat, gossip, or they're usually in their mobile phones playing games.
Okay. So is being involved in indoor activities beneficial for your health?
Staying indoor is not so beneficial from the health perspective, but since outdoor activities are very restricted in our country, in my country, as urbanization is increasing, there is less number of grounds to play on. The most common usual outdoor activities that we have is to go to a gym or take a walk. With increasing pollution, taking a walk is more dangerous than staying home. It's not beneficial to stay home, but calculating the overall circumstances, it may not do so much harm.
Now let's move on to the part 2 of the speaking test. This is your cue card and this is a piece of paper and a pen for you to make the notes. So please start speaking for 2 minutes, don't worry about the time.
As everybody knows, many people have very important occasions in their life. As one of the important occasions in everybody's life is their birthday. Everybody loves celebrating their birthdays with their friends, families, and they would not want any of their close ones to miss it out. I made a mistake once, I forgot my friend's birthday. It was not a good incident to remember, but remembering today, I feel like I had done a great mistake back then. He was a very important friend to me since we are very close from the childhood. He's never missed out my birthdays or any other special occasion. But I did it. I was not intended to do it, but since with the increasing pressure of the studies and I was very focused on something else, it happened to be that I missed it out. I still remember that I had the thing in my mind about a week ago that his birthday was coming, but when it approached, it just slipped out of my mind. I was very speechless. I could not face him since I did not even remember it for the whole day. When in the evening he called up to ask me to show up in his party, I was very shocked and surprised that I had missed his birthday. I feel very guilty about missing it. Birthday, I don't think that I'll ever forget that incident in my life. I guess it's one of the most major mistakes that I've ever made. He still taunts me about it some days, but I think he'll forget it eventually since we're very close.
Okay. And did you apologize with your friend?
Actually, I did not, because since we're very close, we just made fun of it. It still taunts me for that. We're very good, so I did not.
Okay, now let's move on to part 3 of the speaking test, where we'll be talking about vegetables. What vegetables are common in your country?
Since my country has a great range of diversity, seasonal vegetables are very common in my country. Summer season we have vegetables that are typically that come from Tarai region, whereas in winters we get vegetables from the hills or the mountains. It's quite common for us to have different varieties of vegetables throughout the year.
Do people like to grow vegetables in your country?
Talking about the countryside, I guess people are more involved in farming and agriculture, so they grow their own vegetable. But with increasing modernization and urbanization, I think growing vegetables in the country is not a good thing. People usually prefer to buy it, and I guess it's decreasing with the decreasing amount of land and increasing number of concrete buildings.
And is it a positive or a negative development?
It is a positive development for urbanization and development, but looking as a whole for an environmental perspective, it is a very negative impact. As it decreases the food in the upcoming future, we'll have to rely on more chemicals, which is not good for our health, as well as our environment is degrading. Just the number of buildings are increasing, which creates a very negative impact to the environment.
And how do people feel when they eat vegetables that they grow on their own?
The market of organic vegetable is increasing, so I guess people want to consume the food that they grow by themselves, which are free of chemicals and all those pesticides used to increase the number of the crops. I guess people feel good about having to grow their own vegetables, but I guess it's not possible due to the urbanization.
Let's move on to the topic of organic vegetables now. As we know, organic fruits and vegetables are more expensive than conventional fruits and vegetables, but they are actually worth the extra cost. Do you think organic vegetables or fruits deserves a higher price in the market?
I think it does deserve a higher price as it requires more labor, more care. Since with increasing technology, with increasing genetical advancements in crops and all, they are very easy to grow, they are very fast, it takes less time. But coming to the organic side, they are more time consuming, more traditionally grown. They grow in their own pace, they have all the nutrients that they need, which may be lacking. So I guess the overprice they are charged for is very reasonable.
And do you think government should encourage farmers to grow more organic vegetables?
Government should encourage farmers to grow organic vegetables as they are very good for the health. They contain all the vitamins and nutrients that we need and we consume it. But looking from the other's perspective, the economy is the major factor in today's world. Growing organic fruit and vegetable takes a lot of time, while those more genetically modified ones are very easy and fast. So I guess government should provide subsidies or other kind of facilities to the farmers who are more prone to grow into organic vegetables than those of genetically modified ones.
Do you think people these days consume a healthy diet?
With increasing awareness about the health, I guess people are more concerned about the diet they consume. They want to go towards the most balanced diet and avoid the junk food, but with busyness of their everyday day-to-day life, they are not in that scope to avoid the junk food. They somewhat consume junk food once a day, so they are more diverted from their main aim of staying healthy. They try to impose that balanced diet in their diet, but they are not able to due to their busy schedule.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. That's the end of this speaking test.
Thank you.